Seldom could a single motorcycle model claim to have spawned a whole class of bikes as convincingly as the one you're looking at. It's the BMW R1200GS Adventure. It made the adventure bike class what it is today. It made BMW Motorrad what it is today. It probably made Charlie Borman what he is today, but that's not important right now. What is important is that BMW keeps making it better still and has tinkered with it yet again for 2018. What's new is a load of options. They include semi-active suspension, a TFT colour dash that does clever things like connect with your phone, and an emergency call feature which, as the name suggests, summons help in the event of a crash. Do new options count as updates? I don't know, but I went and tested the 2018 BMW R1200GS Adventure at the launch in Wales anyway. Here's what I found out. Engine. Whatever else it may be, the GS Adventure is one thing first and foremost, a great all-round road bike. That's the key to its widespread appeal, not any off-road potential. And key among the features that make it such a great road bike is that Bavarian boxer twin engine in liquid-cooled 125 horsepower form since 2013. It's so flexible, pulling the bike's 263 kilograms with rumbling enthusiasm from under 4,000 RPM in third gear, so it doesn't matter too much what gear you're in exiting corners. It sounds and feels like a proper, unreconstructed motorcycle engine as it rises to its peak torque of 92 pounds-foot at 6,500 RPM, with the occasional burble as you shut off. Handling. Despite all its sophisticated rider aids, a good old-fashioned effective chassis and ergonomics and the easy assured handling they deliver are the other key features that make the big GS a great road bike. This is a big bike by any standard, and that's surely another aspect to its appeal for many, but it's light-footed, changing course with little effort or drama. The wide bars and upright riding position help. The launch ride consisted of miles of very narrow and twisty roads in the Brecon Beacons, and the GS Adventure tackled them all with unlikely agility. Of course, it's also tall. I'm 5'9", and I was on tiptoe if I tried to put both feet on the ground at once, even with the adjustable seat at the lowest of two settings. Suspension. The GS Adventure has the suspension to cross continents in two-up comfort, tackle high-speed bends or smooth out trails, or all three without making any adjustments thanks to a new option. It's BMW's dynamic ESA, not just the old electronically adjustable ESA option which let you press buttons to change preload for a passenger or luggage. Now it senses the change and adjusts according to conditions for you. That's what the dynamic part brings. It comes either as an £810 option on the base model R1200GS, which starts from $13,400, or as standard on the R1200GS Adventure TE edition, which is the one I rode on the launch. That starts from $17,120 and gets other extras as standard, including an up-down quick shifter, hill start control so you don't roll backwards, keyless ignition, heated grips and more. The launch ride was 99% on the road, with a brief detour onto gravel, fire trails and through a stream for the sake of photos, where the suspension soaked up holes and rocks with the ease you'd expect from the original heavyweight adventure bike. On road, it didn't just tackle every bend with composure, inspiring confidence under hard braking and acceleration, but it did it while providing sublime comfort. This is why people love it. Brakes. The R1200GS Adventure's 4-piston Brembo monoblock front calipers are among the best you will find, delivering massive power with precision control. The pressure of one finger is enough to progress from gentle to very rapid deceleration. The bike I rode on the launch was equipped with lean angle sensitive ABS Pro, that's what BMW call it, delivering ABS optimised for corners. It's basically BMW's version of cornering ABS, and it was a welcome reassurance on the greasy, leaf-strewn roads of the launch ride, often bordered by steep, unguarded drops. ABS Pro is standard on the TE edition, or £420 extra on the base model as part of their optional pro riding modes. Equipment. Deep breath, here we go. There's an equipment list for the GS Adventure as long as your arm. It's nearly all optional on the base model, while a good deal comes as standard on the TE edition I rode. To recap on features already mentioned, it has BMW's dynamic ESA suspension, Gear Shift Assist Pro, that's the up-down quick shifter, which is incredibly smooth, and hill start control. The hill start control works by keeping the brake applied after you release it on a hill until the point at which you ease out the clutch to pull away. It also has Keyless ignition, cruise control, preparation for GPS and loads more that you can find listed on BMW's website. That's on the TE edition. The base model comes with rain and road riding modes as standard, while the TE also has Pro Dynamic, Enduro and Enduro Pro. Enduro adapts ABS and traction control for off-road, while Enduro Pro turns off ABS at the rear wheel. There are two new options that BMW seems most proud of for 2018. One is Intelligent Emergency Call, that's what it's called. It's a £295 option on either the base or TE edition, and it's a system that automatically summons help in the event of a crash, using sensors on the bike to detect when one has occurred. It uses a SIM card somewhere in the bike to also pass on your GPS coordinates, so emergency services know where to find you. It gives you an option to cancel before help is summoned in case you don't need it, or you can summon help manually by pressing a big red button hidden under a cover on the right hand bar. It looks exactly like an ejector seat button in a Bond car. The second new option BMW seemed most keen to highlight was the new TFT colour dash with connectivity. It does things like lower the red line on the rev counter when the engine is cold, and by downloading a BMW app onto your smartphone along with some maps, you can link it up with Bluetooth to display navigation directions on the dash. It makes for a sort of basic sat-nav with arrows indicating where you should next turn rather than a full map. It took minutes to install the app on my phone and connect the phone, and the directions were easy to follow, but the bikes ridden on the launch were equipped with separate full sat-nav, which undermined the usefulness of that feature. You can also link it up to a Bluetooth helmet and select music to play from your phone using the colour dash, or make and receive calls. It's all controlled using bar controls, including a wheel by your left hand, a system which after many BMW launches I'm finally beginning to get the hang of. The TFT connectivity system is a £595 option on both the base and TE editions of the bike. We like. There's a really nice premium quality feel to the R1200GS Adventure, a sense that no expense has been spared. We don't like. But a glance at BMW's specs list and you realise that lots of expense has been spared because most of the fancy technology costs extra, it's an option. And do new options amount to a model update? I don't think so. The BMW R1200GS Adventure is basically the same for 2018. Also, I wanted to use the TFT connectivity dash to play music through my noise cancelling earphones, but it wouldn't work because they connect physically to my phone. The system will only play back music from your phone by sending it to a Bluetooth headset or helmet. Why can't it just tell the phone what to play? Verdict. Nevertheless, with or without all the options, the GS Adventure is by any standard an outstandingly competent motorcycle. If you do add the options, as many buyers obviously do, it becomes one of the most sophisticated bikes available, a rolling showcase of what's possible. Most importantly though, it is what it's always been, one bike that will do whatever you want, whether it's touring, twisty B-roads, trails or plain commuting, and do it brilliantly. It's one bike for life, and that is why it's so popular.